The time has come.
I know there's something that you can blow up in this desert here, but I don't remember what it is, and I don't want it to be door repairs. I don't want to risk it being door repairs. So, sometimes when you blow up walls and you'll find secrets, there'll be a guy in there who's like, oh, you blew up my door, pay for it, and then you'll lose a bunch of money just by going in there. Not even by going up and interacting with the guy, just going in there, you lose a bunch of money. And I certainly don't want that right now, especially after just spending 250 rupees on one thing. I did get very lucky though with the gambling game, that was nice. I mean, if that didn't happen, I could easily have gathered up some rupees from the surrounding areas, but we're going to be heading back to Dungeon 2 now, just so that we can get this dungeon over with and grab the magical boomerang in it. Now, those enemies I was fighting earlier, they give us the magical boomerang, but I actually don't remember the difference between the magical boomerang and just the standard boomerang. They both pick up items, they both can get thrown in multiple directions, and they both do the stunning enemies thing, but I do not at all remember the difference between them. Anyway, now that we have a sword beam, that's very nice for dealing with ropes, so that we can kill them before they even get the chance to reach us. Ooh, I want that. Okay, why don't we check out what's in this door here? I think this might be a compass or a map. Oh yeah, there's the compass, okay. The compass isn't actually that useful. Generally, you don't really want to head straight for the boss until you've at least, you know, gotten all the stuff in the dungeon. You don't want to ignore it, especially since some of the stuff is necessary to beating the game. Like I said, the raft is necessary to get to Dungeon 4, and that's the item in Dungeon 3. So, it is impossible to beat the game without beating all the dungeons, and it's impossible to beat that dungeon without the raft. So, you're gonna need that. Let's see what's in here. Oh yes, this is the map, okay. And there's that moon-shaped map. There's not a lot to this dungeon since you just head straight up and just grab some stuff on the way if you want. I suppose I'll grab that. Is this the room with the enemies? Yes, it is. Okay, we gotta be careful. We gotta watch out for the wall projectiles. Oh, that's not good. Okay, okay. We're actually gonna use bombs as a weapon here. I know, shocking. There we go. Whew. We really gotta be careful there, but we did get the magical boomerang, which automatically replaces the boomerang we have right here. So we no longer have the wood boomerang. That doesn't really matter. Again, I hardly know the difference. Oh, we got a mini-boss here. This is kind of a rare case in this game where sometimes there'll be like a dangerous enemy in some rooms. There's only really 2 mini-bosses in the game. There's this guy and one other guy who we don't see until the very final dungeon of the game. Although granted, sometimes the final bosses of the dungeons are used as just regular enemies you encounter throughout the dungeon. So I guess they count as mini-bosses later on in the game? I don't know. This room is just here to give us bombs, which we are going to need for the boss up ahead. Technically, you could get to this point without even having bombs, or picking up bombs from enemies anyway. Now, I said that the ropes follow you around on the X and Y axis. They dart towards you whenever they're aligned, but if they're already darting one direction and you switch to, say, under them, they don't change directions. They're not that aggressive. Oh wow, $5. Oh, this is an advice guy, and we're gonna want to hear what he is. He says, Dodongo dislikes smoke. Now, what he means by that, I know, is very cryptic. He's meaning to use bombs on the boss of this dungeon, which is Dodongo. And, there are 2 ways we can kill Dodongo. He's actually not until the room up above this. So we're gonna have to kill all the enemies, it looks like. Oh dear. Also, I should note, these guys now suddenly have magical boomerangs, and both the red and the orange ones. They suddenly now have different weapons. But anyway, it's Dodongo, and there are 2 ways we can beat him, as I said before. You can either plant the bombs in front of his mouth, which takes 2 hits. Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. Or you can hit him with the bomb residue, which then stuns him and makes him die in 1 hit from your sword. He's kind of pathetic. And somehow less pathetic than the next dungeon's boss. Okay, now we have another piece of the Triforce. We've covered the top bit, and you think from how much progress we've made on this thing, looking at it in the pause menu, there's like 3 pieces left. Nope, there's still 6 pieces remaining. But we have a lot of hearts now. We have an entire full bottom row. So I'm gonna be going for the next sword of the game, which we can find on top of the waterfall. Just north of here. Well, not. It's north as well as west. Nope. Also, I believe we can get the power bracelet up here. I might be thinking of another group of statues, but I know there's a group of statues somewhere where under one of them is the power bracelet. Okay, that's not a power bracelet, but I might as well check it out. Secret is in the tree at the dead end. Thanks for the help, old man. But anyway, can we go this way? I know this is a weird part. Yeah, okay. So, up the waterfall, we have this guy right here, and we can kill him, I suppose? Our shield, unfortunately, doesn't block his sword blows, and they do a whole heart of damage. So I might not even bother. Okay, we got him. But in this cave is the new sword, and he says, master using it, and you can have it, this, whatever. Yeah, he gives us the white sword, which does twice as much damage. Very nice. But, the whole thing about Master using it, yeah, we don't have to kill that guy at all. That, Blue Lionel, I believe is the name of that enemy. We don't actually have to kill that guy. That's just... he's just there. You can totally ignore him if you'd like. Also, secret that one of the old people will tell you in this game is that you can go inside the waterfall. But all that's in here is a lady who gives you more cryptic advice, but only at a cost. So, not worth it at all. Unless you really like the cryptic advice they give off in this game. It's memorable, I'll give it that. But now we have the white sword, we can kill enemies much faster. The blue Octoroks, which were taking 2 hits earlier, now only die in 1 hit. And most importantly, enemies like the, even the bosses start to take twice as much damage, so if we were to reface the Dungeon 1 boss with this sword, he would die way quicker, and he already died pretty quickly last time we fought him. These guys died in 1 hit now. Which is very nice. Why don't we get headed towards Dungeon 3? This is about as decked out as I can get before going there. I was thinking like, oh, Dungeon 3, I don't want to head there because it's got dark nuts, but at the same time, we have the best sword we can get at the time. And the best, well, I suppose we can get a better shield, but that costs a lot. We can get a better shield, but we also have the best cloak we have at the time. The best cloak we can get for now, anyway. And the best cloak we can get for most of the game, considering the next cloak we don't get until the last dungeon. The next tunic. So, there's not a lot we can do to power ourselves except get a slightly better shield, which doesn't even protect us from the main enemy of this dungeon, that is the Dark Nuts. Let's head on in anyway. Now, I highly advise you do not, under any circumstance, do this dungeon without the white sword, or at least the white tunic, or the blue tunic, whatever. But level 3 you can do very early on. In fact, this is a lot of my earlier playthroughs. This is the first dungeon I would find, since it's just right next to the spawn. But I do not recommend doing this dungeon before you get the white sword and the blue tunic, solely because of the Dark Nuts, who we unfortunately aren't encountering yet. The slimes aren't a problem. If it was just these guys, this would be the easiest dungeon in the Zelda series. It's always good to kill all the enemies just in case an item drops. And here we are, Dark Nuts. They block everything in front of them, and they keep changing directions. The best way to deal with these guys is with the sword beam. But as I had said earlier, the sword beam's difficult to get once you have more hearts. Which is why you want to wait to deal with this place until you've gotten all your health and you've gotten a lot of equipment, and the white sword, of course, killing them quicker will help. My D-pad is stuck. Link, stop moving up. Thank you. Okay. Anyway. This room right here is rather notorious because the door we need to get into to the south, and this leads to the raft item, which we need that to get to Dungeon 4. it's blocked by several rooms that feature these dark nuts, and a lot of the times we have to kill all of them. Like this room here, for example. You have to kill all these dark nuts. We just want to wait for them to come around the corner is the best strategy. Then they'll turn on us, and they can be annoying and slippery. And these guys would be taking 4 hits if it weren't for the fact that I have the white sword, and they would be doing twice as much damage. The boomerang also does not affect these guys. That would be the immediate thought is, oh, stun them and kill them with the boomerang. You can't. Now we finally made it past a lot of dark nuts, and we go in here and we can get the raft. It's way harder, I swear, if you don't have the white sword. But with the white sword, those last dark nuts in that room you can just avoid. So really it's just 1 room full of dark nuts. 2 technically, because you have to kill the ones in... Wait, do you even have to kill those ones? I don't remember. I'll grab that. Okay. I'm actually doing not bad against these dark nuts. Again, killing them in 2 hits helps. It really does. Because otherwise you just get greedy and try to stab them as much as you can, and then they turn and hit you, and it's a whole mess.